All right, guys. I hope everyone can hear me. Can someone just quickly send a yes in the chat box if everything looks good at your end? All right. Thanks, Sumit Keshri. So, hey everyone. Hello, and hope you are having a pleasant morning. Sorry for the delay for 5 minutes. Some technical glitches in the end. And very glad. Wish you a very happy new year and very warm welcome from Ace Academy. Thanks for your time here. So, starting, I am Ashish. I am a mentor at Ace Academy and currently work at as a data science engineer. And we are very glad today. We have Khushbu with us. And thanks first of all to Ace Academy, which is an interview training platform that helps people in landing an offer from the top product-based companies. So yeah, great job, Ace Academy guys. And Khushbu, talking about Khushbu, as you all know, Khushbu is with us, and she works as a software engineer at Google, and she has always also been um, 6-star code chef, and that's really fantastic of her. And yeah, she will be sharing with us her journey today, and she graduated from a tier 3 college as like most of us, and and she also must be having all her dreams, and then landed into the world's best software company, which is Google. And yeah, let's hear from Khushbu, and really excited for the session today. Hope the session goes really well for you, and hope you learn and enjoy a lot for this today's session. So without any further ado, Khushbu, over to you.
Hello. Hi everyone. Thank you
Yep.
Ashish for introducing me so well. Hi everyone. I'm Khushbu. Okay, I'm Khushbu. I completed my graduation from Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University in the year 2018, and I joined the Google in 2019. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, could you make me host please to share my screen?
Yeah, but yeah, just give me a second. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I hope you all can see the presentation. Okay, so this is about all my journey, like what I did in college and how was the interview process at Google. Okay, so as I said, I completed BTech in 2018, and in the first semester, I got to know about Go Club group started by our seniors, where I attended C, Python, and web designing classes because I had no experience in any computer science languages and anything. So yeah, from the seniors, I got to know about these languages and the new stacks and technologies. And in this second semester, okay, so in the second semester, some of my batchmates introduced me competitive programming. So I will be using CP as a short form for the competitive programming. So my batchmates helped me so much in understanding basic CP in the starting. Then I realized that this is something that is really interesting. That is, I find it very really interesting. So I started solving problems on the spouse, CodeShop, or Codeforces, and started participating questions. So I really like doing CP. So I started to give my almost maximum time to doing CP in the college from the second semester. So yeah, so there is a contest, if you all know about ACM ICPC, in which you have to make a team of 3 people, and so first round is online. If you clear the first round online, then you will get the chance to attend the on-site. So yeah, I participated in the third semester, but our team were not able to clear the online round. So in the fifth semester, we were able to clear the online, and we went to the offsite for Amritapuri and Chennai. And in the seventh semester also we cleared online and went to Amritapuri and Gwalior. So yeah, in the seventh semester we were able to give our best in that contest. So yeah, so and mostly I spent my all the time in doing CP. So the mistake that I made is that I did very less project apart from the college. So that was one of the mistakes that I made. Though I did one open source internship at KD. KD is Kid Extra environment. So so it's like a GSOC, but here you will not be getting any stipend. It's a free. So yeah, so I did only one source internship. So apart from CP, I did very less project. That's a mistake I made in college. So yeah. So in the eighth semester, like in the final year, almost everyone was like sitting for the placements and all. So I realized that this is not something I wanted to do that time. I was not able to, like, I was feeling a little bit low that time in the final year of my college. So yeah, so and I was not sure like what to do in the career that time. So and also everyone stopped doing CP at that time because maybe they found something other thing interesting for themselves, which is really good. Okay, so I was the only one doing CP, so I also stopped doing CP. And okay, so I was not feeling good. So I after the college I decided to take 6 months break to, like, after in the break I spent all my time with family. And I just prepared myself for like what I really want to do and for the upcoming struggle for the job and all. So yeah, so I graduated in 2018. So in the 2019 from the January, I realized that I am good at CP. So I decided to give my best in the CP without having any other second thought, or like without aiming about Google or any fun companies. So I was just doing CP for myself because I knew that this is one of my strongest point and I can do better in this area. I didn't know like that time I didn't know like if I get something from it or not. But all I knew is that this is something that interests me and I can be good at this thing. So yeah, from January to 2019 I started doing CP. And also the of course job is also necessary, so I started applying for the jobs. So my resume was not getting shortlisted because of less of projects and less experience, you can say that, because I had very less projects. All I was having CP ratings. And also you can say there was a gap, like after college I took 6 months gap. So I think that's also a negative impact. Yeah, so my resume was not getting selected. I applied many companies. In fact, there are many contests on Hacker Earth where you have to like solve DS and algo questions, and then your resume will get shortlisted. So in that contest also, I was able to solve all the questions, but still my resume wasn't getting shortlisted. Though I didn't felt that bad that time because I realized because I just started. So yeah, so around 26 or 27, okay, so I started getting good uh, good hand on the CP and getting a get okay, my rank was also improving in CP. So around 26 or 27 April I was just searching careers.google.com site and I saw the posting for the like freshers. So I just applied randomly without thinking about any outcome on around the end of the April in the 2019. And but okay, so around, so I got the reply luckily. So luckily my resume got shortlisted. I will not say that my resume is so good. Okay, so luckily I got the reply from the recruiter around starting of the May. And told me that my resume is shortlisted. So he gave me the interview opportunity at Google. So that's how my interview process started. Before the process started, I didn't know about the any of the like what is the interview process of the Google. So I searched on the Google. I asked my some of my friends, also the recruiter. I also asked. So first round was the introduction round with the recruiter. So he just discussed my resume and why did I take the break and all things. So after this, My first the recruiter scheduled my first telephonic interview, telephonic coding that was of 45 minutes. Okay, so in the 45 minutes you can expect 1 to 3 questions, I'll say. So in the first telephonic, the interviewer asked me 3 coding questions, so I was able to solve them and code them. But my last code of like third question was having one bug in the code. And also my code hygiene was not that good. I code hygiene By code hygiene I mean like I was naming the variables a or b. I didn't name the function very well. So after first telephonic, I got the feedback about the one bug and the code hygiene. So recruiter scheduled one more telephonic interview. Normally, if your first telephonic went well, so you will get the on-site. But I was having like borderline interview, you can say that. So feedback. So also that's why I had to give the second telephonic. So this time I took the 1 month gap between first telephonic and second telephonic, and I worked on the feedback and prepared. Okay, worked on the feedback, but I was not serious that time that very much. Okay, so I gave the second telephonic and yeah, it went well. So after the 7 days, I got to know that I was selected for onsite. So this is the time when I really got serious about the interview process. Before that, I was like, no, I will not be get selected. I was like not having that much confidence that I can clear the interview. To be honest, before that I was like I will be get out from the at least I will not be able to clear the interview. So okay, so for the onsite, when I got the onsite, so I realized that this is only one step away from going into the Google. So this time I was really serious and I decided to prepare. I took almost 1.5 months gap for the onsite interview. So I decided to give my all best for the onsite interview. So for this, normally like I used to get so much. I got so much nervous in the my last interview. So I decided to work on that also. So for that, I did so many mock interviews. I think I did 25 to 30 mock interviews in 1 month. And for the mock interviews, you can contact people online on LinkedIn. You can ask your friends to take the interview. Also, the people who are also preparing for the interviews, you can ask them to you can take each other's interview. So that's how I managed to get the interviews, mock interviews. So I gave the interviews. So mock interviews really helped me getting my confidence back, and also helped me like how can you really explain your thoughts or your ideas very well in the interviews also. And apart from the mock interviews, I worked on my strong points and weaknesses. Like I was not that good in DP dynamic programming, so I worked on the dynamic programming very much. And also I practiced question from the lead code and interview it, and I revised all the topic. And yeah, practiced question. And before the my interview, before that 2 to 3 days before, I just gave mock interviews. And there is also like on the lead code there was a like mock interview section where you just have to solve the question in 45 minutes. So I think there was 12 tests for the on-site, so I gave all these tests. Okay, and there was so in the on-site there were 4 coding interviews, same like telephonic, but this time you can expect a high level. You can expect problems from medium to hard level, and the one was Z and L interview. It was like a behavior interview. So okay, after the on-site interview, my team matching started before the hiring committee. So I got the team in the first team matching meeting with my managers, very luckily. So okay, after team matching, I got the result from my hiring committee. I think after 20 days that I got selected. So yeah, that's how I ended up at Google. So interview tips from my side, like I took almost 1 month's gap between every interviews to prepare. Okay, depends on you. It depends on preparation. If you think you are prepared, then you don't have to take this much gap. Okay, and gave lots of mock interviews, which helped me in getting rid of my nervousness and building confidence. Okay, uh, and searched on Google about Google interview process and read people's experiences about Google interview. As I said, calculated my weaknesses, strong points, works on my weaknesses, practice interview questions on interview and lead code for on-site interview. So advice from my side is just that just don't follow anyone. Just follow it. Even if you don't know the outcome, even if you're going in right direction, but you are trying, so of course you will find the right path. Okay, so listen to everyone and take good advices, but do whatever you think is best for you. Also, like, don't degrade yourself. Don't think like you cannot do it because no one is different. What makes us different is how much effort someone puts to achieve their dreams. And also help as much as you can, and don't let failures to stop you. Just keep trying and try, because hard work and your dedication will never go waste. Even if you get succeed, keep learning and improving yourself. So this is from all my side. Ready to take the questions?
So thanks, Khushbu. Yeah, there was a hello.
Hello, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah, all right. So yeah, that was a very insightful session, Khushbu. Really glad. So yeah, I see a lot of questions. Uh, Pallavi and other guys, you can raise your hand. Yes, if you have any questions. So yeah, I'll come to you one by one. But before them, we also have many questions that are already lined up in our Google Docs. Okay, so just give me a quick second before I get the questions to you. And or maybe meanwhile, I think Pallavi can go on with her question. So I'll be unmuting you right now, Pallavi. You may ask your question meanwhile.
Ma'am,
Hi.
good evening, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you,
Pallavi.
sir, and ma'am for giving me this opportunity. Ma'am, I would like to know, I applied for the STEP intern via reference, and till now I have not got any mail from them regarding the interview. So, is there
Mhm.
any chance that I would be getting any mail from them for the interview?
Okay, actually there are so many applications, so sometimes they get reviewed, sometimes they not. So I'm not sure about this. Like I'm not the right person to answer this. Uh, yeah.
Actually, many students have got their selection interview have been done, and some interviews are still pending. I got to know through my friends. Na, 12 till 12 Jan, I saw some students have their interview, while rest of them some have got the result even. So I was just worried that would I be getting the mail or not, because there we need to prepare even a little bit. So
Correct. I think there are many applications, so it may possible that your application didn't get reviewed yet. So yeah, and if the deadline is over, so I don't think you will get the reply. Okay, if its deadline is not over, then you can wait.
mm,
I hope that answers your question, Pallavi. Right. All right. So next, I'll ask Yashwini, Yashwin, sorry, Yashwin to ask his question, please.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. Yeah, I always have one particular question. Like, ma'am, which one to concentrate more on, development or competitive programming?
Okay, so I think both are. I think you have to balance the both things. Okay, so
Yeah,
okay, so you don't have to really do the competitive programming. Like if you're not interested, just learn the basic data structure and algorithms, and just like improve your problem solving skills. Okay, if you're
yeah,
not very much interested in competitive programming, and also if you're interested in more about development things, so yeah, work on that and then apply or like problem solving skills there.
ma'am. One thing, when we actually prepare for interviews, is it just sufficient to solve problems from this lead code and other stuff, or is it mandatory to solve to have some good rating on some competitive programming platforms as well?
Okay, so the question that you solve on lead code interview, you will not be seeing the same question, okay, on
Yeah.
the in the interview. So yeah, so okay, I'm not sure like how the recruiter selects the resume based on the rating, or it depends on them. Okay, I'm not But once your resume gets shortlisted, so it's all about the clearing interview and solving problem there and explaining your ideas very well there.
So you say rating is not one main parameter on which decisions are taken. Is that
Sorry?
what you say? Is the like rating is not much influenced? Is that
Yes,
what you're saying?
correct. There are many people like who don't have any rating on the coding platforms like on Codeshop and anything else here. Still, they are in Google and they are working.
Ma'am, one other thing I see is many people don't even get replaced from any big tech companies. Then why is it so like that?
Didn't get replaced.
They don't get reply mails at all. So
Yeah, because there are basically so many applications. Trust me. Okay, if you are having referral, so your chances gets increased. I'll okay, and but still, it's not it's not guarantee you that your application will get reviewed. So you can say either your resume is so good or it's your luck or I don't know. But there are so many applications. I think it's not possible to review. I think all the applications.
okay, ma'am.
So
So you
keep
say,
trying.
yeah, you say both development and competitive programming are the same. They don't stay one over the other.
Hmm.
Is it
Yeah.
something like we
Yeah.
can go on our own path?
Correct.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Hello.
Okay, thanks, Yashwant, for your question. So now I'll pick a question from our forms previously. So we have a question from Ishan Pandey. Not sure if he's here right now, but
Yeah.
anyway. So Ishan is asking how hiring works at Google in terms of internal openings at Google. So how, or maybe he's more also interested in first is internal openings, second is getting referrals, and if there is any prerequisites to getting referrals. And also he follows up on what is expected out of a person applying to Google, like and getting interview with. So if he has an experience of 1 to 2 years. So two questions. First is internal openings and referrals. So anything on that?
Okay. So about the internal openings, I don't have that. I don't see if there is any internal opening. Okay. Okay. All the openings are there on careers.google.com and they will be get posted. So I don't see there is any internal opening. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So
yeah.
that's more generally Khushbu. Like even I have heard that all the openings that we see in the market, they are just a tip of iceberg. 80% of openings are really not visible to everyone there. So that's a common popular opinion. So in your experience in Google till now, have you seen any kind of manager or anyone who has some kind of requirement in his team and he wants to recruit someone? So what is the procedure? So do they directly post it on careers.google.com, or they approach internally to their friends and just look out for some brilliant guy, and only after 1 or 2 months of trying, or they go to careers.google.com? Does that sound familiar at Google,
Okay.
something like that?
Okay. So in my experience, all the people that I have met in my team, all the people applied through the careers.google.com. Though they had the referral, I'll say that, but they applied through the careers.google.com. Okay. So for their interview process, but they had some of them had the referrals. Okay, and some of them didn't have the referral. So I think there is nothing like internal opening here. That's I'm not sure, but in my knowledge, there is nothing like internal opening and like someone is doing favor to only their known people. This thing.
Yeah, of course, favors would definitely be discouraged in Google, I understand. But yeah, in many companies in IT, I have seen a culture where some ex-colleagues or some people who have potential can directly get an interview. So, anyways, coming back to the question of Ishan, here's the second question. Like, what is expected out of person who's having 1 or 2 years of experience if he is targeting Google?
Okay, so for the 1 year experience people, I think expectations normally are similar to the university graduate. Okay, so normally they will not be asking you any system design or any very high level design questions in the interview. They will not be expecting that. Okay, they will be expecting you that you have the basic knowledge, you have like you understand,
So
you know the language very well. Like they will expect you like same like university graduate mostly for the 1 and 2 year experience
someone
you can.
asks you to just rate the top three things. So which skill would you rate top at the number one and number two and number three in your personal opinion? Uh,
Uh, Number one, what are the options?
so I mean, any of you that you are saying, maybe programming and then system design might not be for 1 year person, but maybe if you can tell on your own experience, what was the best thing that they look for in your experience? Like, what is the thing that is really highly valued? Something like that. This skill is 80% valued, then the next is some 20% or 19%, something like that. Do you have anything like that in mind?
Okay, so all the things that I'm sharing is just about my opinion. Okay, this can be wrong or okay false because okay. So first is I think you should be good in problem solving. Like you should be able to like come up with a good idea. So this is high. Like for the fresher, this is the I think most important thing they look into. Second is I think you are able to write a good code. You are able to convert your ideas into the code, right?
Mhm. Okay.
And second or third are similar. Third is like team management. You are a team player,
Oh,
and and you respect your customers' opinions, right?
oh, that's amazing. So when you're saying problem solving, so does that relates to a typical competitive programming kind of and the DSA problem solving, or even some kind of puzzles, or they just want to see your mentality on how are you solving problems?
So mostly, questions are not the same that you will see on the online platforms mostly. Okay,
Mhm.
so questions are different, but yeah. So they will expect that you know the basic data structure because you have to use it in the your like in the code, right? And you know the basic algorithm also, right? So on that they will like prepare a question, a tricky question where you just have to see like what are the algorithms that you can merge and what are the solutions you can come up with a good solution. What are the time complexity, memory, because that's all matters in a project, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So if they are not asking system design, so because they don't want to like go into very deeply because you are a fresher, so that's why they chose I think the data structure algorithms to check your problem solving skills.
Correct, correct. That makes sense. Uh, Great. So I saw some other hands raised as well, but they are down now. So I'll quickly jump to other questions from the Google form, basically. So all right, I'll pick a question from. Okay, so so Ananya okay, Ananya is her name. She has a question that I am in my final year and I got an internship offer from a good company. So should I focus on getting a PPO from the same company? And if yes, what are the steps to get PPO, or maybe should I simultaneously continue preparation for other big tech companies? So a bit confused in choosing companies.
Okay, so this is just my opinion. I don't have like that much experience. I didn't met the people who got the PPO, but still I think PPO like suppose in my knowledge suppose 12 people like got selected, only one or two people will get the PPO, right?
Mhm.
So this is a risk. So I think you should focus. Okay? If you're doing good in internship, it's good. Give your best, but still, like don't be dependent on one thing. So keep applying others place also, right?
Correct. Fair enough, Khushbu. So I see Pallavi had another follow-up question. So I'll just give Pallavi. Pallavi?
Ma'am, how to get referral and on what basis does anyone give us referral? And one more thing, otherwise I would be on mute. How to talk to the recruiter about this that I have not got any mail, how to contact them, or to whom I should contact. I've asked for the said to the my person to the person from which I have taken the referral. but I didn't got any reply till now.
Okay, so the referral that from the person you have taken also don't know, okay? Or like I'm not sure, okay? So just a second. So first let me answer the about the referral, okay? So I think the people like if some of your friends are in Google or some of your classmates are in Google or your seniors, okay, so you can ask them. Okay. Also, you can apply from without referral also. Like if someone knows about your skills, like you are good in this thing, so of course they will refer you. They will refer you. And about recruiters, it's all about your connections. I think like if they are in your connection, so you can ask them. And the second question that you ask, I think about the contact. Okay, like you didn't get the reply yet. Okay, so suppose if your application get reviewed, then you will of course definitely get the reply, even if it's not selected. Okay, if your application is reviewed, then you will of course get the reply, like if your application is selected or like your resume did get shortlisted. Okay, about both the things, and the person who referred you also can tell you about this, or I'm not sure. It depends on the person who referred you. Okay, if he can tell this information or not.
Mhm. Are there any chances that whenever a person who gets step will always get SW intern at Google only?
Oh, sorry.
A person who get a step intern will definitely get an SW intern also at Google.
I don't think so.
Okay, actually, I saw whosoever has got the step intern, they mostly have got SW intern. That's why I thought
Like
it
for
might
the
be possible.
SW internship, you have to clear the interview. Yeah, it will be easy to like if you got the step. So of course you will get so much experience. Your resume is also good, right? In the second year itself. So when you will
Um,
apply the next time, so it will be like easy to get your resume shortlisted because your data is in Google already, right?
yes,
Compared to the
ma'am.
first time you're applying. So that's why the shortlisting is simple, but of course you have to clear the interview.
Yeah, then only we need to give the interview when we will get step for getting SW.
Yes, of course. In my knowledge, okay. All these things that I'm sharing here just by opinion. I'm not sure they can be true or false, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Pallavi. Uh, and guys, just don't hesitate to ask your questions. It's all the session for you only. I see right now Sumit Keshri wants to ask something. So over to you, Sumit.
Thank you, sir. Hello, ma'am. Myself, Sumit Kesri. It's a such nice pleasure to meet you, ma'am. First of all, congratulations for landing a great job. So, ma'am,
Thank you.
my question is very pretty simple, ma'am. Currently, I'm in my third year, and I do CP. So sometimes I able to solve three questions. Sometimes I able to solve one question. So sometimes I got frustrated that why I'm not improving. That what
Hmm.
I have to learn. I learn data structures, and then I again come back to solve problems. Again, I see that I'm able to solve one question. So, ma'am, how to deal with frustration while doing CP?
Oh yeah. So I think this is the normal problem that happens with everyone who is doing CP. Okay. So yeah, many times it happened with me also. So like yeah, if you compare like your 1 day progress or 2 day progress or 3 day progress, you will not see the difference. But in the CP, but you will compare yourself from the last 1 year or from the last 6 months. You can easily see the difference. Like this time you know this much and the last time you knew only this much. Okay, so that's how I think you should compare. Not you should not compare your progress by 1 or 2 days. Or and if you're getting frustrated, like sometimes in the contest you try to give your best, but still you are not able to solve problems. So of course it's normal to get to be frustrated. So whenever you are getting frustrated, just stop doing anything. Okay, take a 1 to 2 days break to just chill and relax your mind. Okay, and after 2 days when you start, you will really start feeling good. Okay, so when you will start again, okay, don't stop doing CP. Like don't take a very big break in the college because you're in college. So don't take like 3 to 4 months break because then it will be really tough to start the CP. Just take like small breaks like 1 to 2 days. So when you will get the positive energy or positive mind, so when you start again, so yeah, So you can easily get rid of your frustration. That's how I followed. And to solve the problems, to solve a problem, I think you should like, if you want to improve more. So what I did is, like, I saw, like, if I solved one problem, so still I saw the others code also after solving, because it helped me to know the because it helps you, like someone wrote a code in 10 line and you wrote the code in 50 line, right? So it will help you to understand the other methods also to solve that problem, and other things that you can write short code like this, and you could use this trick to do this, to apply this thing and all. See the others code also after solving problem. It really helps a lot. And in for the to improve in the CP, like in the contest, always participate in the contest. Suppose if this time in the contest you are able to solve the two questions, so just make a target that next time you will be able to solve three questions, and after the contest try all those questions that you were not able to solve by yourself again by giving more time. Still, if you're not able to solve, then see the editorial. If it requires new algorithm, then read that editorial, learn that new algorithm, and then try to solve that problem. So, of course, if it still is you are not able to solve, then ask another people. You can message people on CodeForce, or you can like post your question on CodeShop Discuss forums where people will answer. So that's how you can see you can understand a solution to a problem. And still you are not able to like understand, it means it requires a very high level, and that you are not right, you are not right now. So just skip that problem for some time, so when you will get that level, try that problem. So yeah, and for the frustration, just take a break. I hope this answers your question.
I think you are on mute, Sumit. Okay, you are on mute.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Sure. Fine, guys. If you have any other questions, just feel free to raise your hand, and I'll give you the mic. Okay. So another question I'll take from the form, Khushbu, which is another guy. I don't know the name. Name is tricky. Okay, Aman Agrawal. Okay, Aman Agrawal wants to ask that he just has 15 days left for Google interview, and then what should he prepare, and I mean, how should he prepare, and what should he prepare? That's his.
Okay. So hi Aman, if your interview is in 15 days, so I assume that you are already having good practice in the DS and Algo, and you already know all the topics. Okay. So first of all, in 15 days, just revise all the topics, all the data structures, and see the code. And because you should not make any syntax error. Okay, just see all the data structures and algorithms once. Like just revise, like DFS, just DFS, VFS, dynamic programming, and binary search, Dijkstra. Just read all these algorithms and see how they are solving problem for that algorithm, and how to write the code for that algorithm. Okay, you can easily do it in 5 days. Okay, in the 10 days, what you can do is just practice hard level questions also. Okay, like 2 to 3 hours daily, and apart from this, give the mock interviews, one mock interview. Okay, one to okay, for the 15 days you can give 3 to 4 mock interviews. And also you could do like a lead code on-site interview test, which is also very helpful before the interview, to see on what level you stand right now. Right, yeah.
All right, Khushbu. Makes sense. Um, okay, I'll try to find another question quickly. Okay. So, okay, nice question from Mahesh, and interesting. We just logged the question a few minutes back. Mahesh wants to ask what is the starting package one can expect at Google India. So, interesting questions.
Okay, you search it on Google, you will find the package directly there.
All right. So, okay, maybe. So, yeah, even I had. So Mahesh, if you are listening to this, so even in my experience, I was when I search other companies, so I find people on LinkedIn to find the package and something. So my reason was usually for negotiation phases and all. If we go with a figure in mind while doing the negotiation phase, so it's very much helpful. So 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 is it maybe Khushbu, if you can tell, so is it does it varies for every from level to level or something like, or is it same for everyone on the entrant stage, something like that?
Level to level, of course, it varies, because if you are applying for the higher level, of course,
Yeah,
it will varies, and of course, it depends on your experience. Okay.
yeah,
And yeah, so normally, like for the freshers or university graduates, the starting package is normally similar. Okay, normally you will see very less difference in their package. Okay, very less. Like, okay, so normally starting package is similar for the everyone. Basic base salary. You can, like, in the negotiation, you can find the difference in other things, which I think, I'm not sure I can tell or not. I didn't do the negotiation, so I'm not very good in it.
yeah, of course. I mean, at fresher level, it's not very common to do those negotiations, but yeah, fine. But okay, Google is the best way to find it. So all right,
You
and
will already get good salary, so I don't think there is need of doing negotiation.
correct. And apart from the cash options, do you have the stock options or something also, like anything like that?
Of course, every company provide you the stocks.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine. That makes sense. Fine. We have new questions from Shivam. Shivam, please ask your question. Um, yep.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I was just wanted to know this: how to master that advanced topic like segmentary, binary lifting. Like, is it necessary to prepare for the interview, or it is okay? Means there's not the interviewer are not asking from these topics.
Okay, in the interview, you will not see the HLD questions, like, okay, have you, and you can see the segmentary questions, but not in a very high level, okay,
Mhm.
and you will not see very high level data structure questions in interview.
And one last thing, and the interviewer wants the correct code, or it maybe means like a little bug in that, means like they provide some hint in between while you are solving the question, like.
Of course, if the interviews, it also depends on the interviewer mostly. Like, okay, but normally, what happens, like, if the interviewer knows that you are going in right direction, or you just need a little bit hint, okay, like, all the approach is yours. You just need a little bit guidance, so he will provide you. You just have to listen the interview, like what he's saying or she's saying. Okay, and in the code also, they will ask you to check it. Okay, if there is any bug, they will ask you to test your code.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Shivam. Next, Pallavi. Again, some questions, and please don't. I mean, feel free to ask. Totally, it's for you. Please go on.
Ma'am, are there any specific type of questions and topic that are asked in Google?
Every question is different and also depends on the interview.
There isn't any topic that is definitely would be asked in the Google.
No, there we like it. Okay, so here, like, we all are. It's interviewer's choice, like what type of question and what topic he selects to ask you.
And we would be contacting the recruiter if you want to contact through mail only. Is there any
Yes.
other way to contact?
Normally on the mail, and sometimes you can expect on the phone also. Like, okay, so normally in the starting, you can expect the email, and okay, but once your interview started, so you can expect the feedback on your phone also.
All right. Shivam again wants to ask one question, and yeah, you're welcome, Shivam.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, please.
There's one more question. What is the expectation of the interviewers from for those guys who have only years of experience? Like they are asking a system design question in very depth, or just they want to just take a brief idea from the next person.
Like if you had, okay, in my all the people that I have met who joined Google in after 1 year, okay, working at another companies.
Okay.
So okay, so normally they don't ask system design question from these peoples also, okay, so you will be expecting only on coding interviews.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Shivam. Uh, Sumit has questions. Yeah, yeah, Sumit, please go
Ma'am,
on.
I have seen some Google interview questions. So, ma'am, there I think I have seen that some they focus on a very high mathematical background. I have seen some problems there. We need to have some strong fundamental of mathematics. So, is it necessary to have strong fundamental of mathematics in order to crack Google interview?
A strong level of mathematics, like, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so normally the choice of the question basically depends on the interviewer, okay, first of all, and of course you should know the 12th, like if you're a university graduate, of course you should know the basic math that you read in your college, you in your school, like probability, permutation. Of course, this is the thing you should know, okay. Normally, very few interviewers ask like very ask the like very high level mathematics question. You should, okay, but of course you should know the like how to calculate prime numbers, GCD and LCM and all, because it all comes in data structures and algorithms, and the number theory part you should know the basic number theory in maths. So yeah, but I don't think they ask a very high level math question. So just they ask only the just a basic thing that you read in the college or in your school.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, picking some more questions from the form. Basic, I mean, very straightforward question, but okay. Chinmay Raval, hey, sorry. Chinmay Raval wants to ask: is competitive programming must to get in Google?
Okay, so yeah, it is not must to get in Google. Okay, I have seen like many like 70% people who didn't do computer programming are still in Google. Okay, yeah, I got the job because of CP, but there are many people in Google who didn't do CP are still in Google. So this is a
Is it?
myth.
So is it? So you mean from non-IIT type of colleges without doing CP, they were in Google,
Yes, yes, I have seen many people.
and at a fresher level, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So, any kind of secret sauce that you know, how did they really manage? Like, because I sure many will by second method on this. So,
I just know the people. I didn't talk to them that much. I just
right.
know. Okay.
We can definitely have another session once you talk to those people, and yeah, really excited to get that on. All right, and interesting. So we have a few more minutes here. Um, I see lots of question on the form, but most of them were answered uh, in your PPT. But let me sort. Okay, so someone was asking about your gap year.
Hmm.
Yeah, so his name is Dhanush Kumar. He might not be in the meeting, but he's just writing regarding the gap year before applying for a recruitment drive. That's the only thing that he has written. So, do you make any good sense of that? And if you want to say something on that,
Okay, so yeah, I have seen like this type of question people ask on LinkedIn, like, does it affect like if you take the gap or not? I think that is the question. I think. Okay, so
okay,
yeah,
okay,
so I took the break after 6 months break after college, and of course because of this, my resume didn't get selected many times at at many companies. So of course this is a negative point. Okay, and it all your risk whether you want to take this risk or not. Okay, But well, I believe in one thing, like if you're doing hard work, okay, and if you're improving something, you are improving your skills. So of course, at least one person will select you. If 99% are rejecting you on the basis of the gap, but one person will actually judge you on the basis of your skills and will give you the first chance. So whenever you get that chance, don't miss that golden opportunity. Try to just give all your best in that opportunity. So yeah, but yeah, having gap in the resume is, I think, a negative point.
Absolutely well said, Khushbu. One question says, could you suggest a roadmap? Okay, the question was from Priya. So she's asking, could you suggest some kind of roadmap for a second year student for excelling in competitive programming, and can she learn the DSA in third semester and start CP from the fourth semester? Something like that. Would you recommend, or how is it? She's in second year.
Okay, and she wants to start CP, right? That's
Yep.
the question.
Yep.
How
That's
to
the
start?
question. Yep.
Okay, of course it's not okay, in the second year starting, it's not late. Of course, you're starting it at the right time. So yeah, so to start the CP, first learn the language. Of course, you should know the one language very well. Okay, and if you, even if you know the basic of that language, it is fine. You will learn the language like when you are practicing questions, you can see the new data structures like how to use a map or vector. So first learn the data structures like vector, map, hashing, and these things. Okay,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
and also start learning one algorithm, one simple algorithms. There are list of algorithms like first learn just starting, then see linear search, binary search, and sorting, merge, quick sort, differences, and also learn to calculate how to calculate the time complexity and all. Then after this, all these things you can go to the number theory also, and also you can also start about the graphs also from the like how to uh, define a graph in a using your language, like uh, how to like put the edges and how to read it and how to access and all these things. Okay,
Yes.
then you can learn the DFS, VFS. That's, I think, in the 1 year you can learn the basics of the all the algorithms and data structures.
Mhm.
In the second year you will be able to do that, and from the third or fourth year you can start improving on that thing. You can start learning more like on the higher level. Because then you will get the basic idea, like yeah, these are things I'm familiar, now you just have to improve.
So, what according to you would you call a high level, Khushbu, in data structures and algorithm? As in, 'cause supposing we know DSA, BSA, and all those classics
Hmm.
Dijkstra's algorithms
Hmm.
that are taught in college, at least. After that,
Hmm. Okay, so on the high level, like it depends on the problem also. Like okay,
Mhm.
so you have to like think a lot to, though it is like requires a normal algorithm, but it requires so much thinking to like know how to
Mhm.
apply that algorithm on that question. You
Okay.
can okay, and suppose in the you know the basic graphs. Okay, then segment tree will be easy for you. Like how is this working? This is just a part of the segment tree. Okay, the basic how to build and how to do the query on it. Okay, then on the segment tree there is one algo regarding HLD that I will call as a high level algorithm. Okay, and it requires so much knowledge about this, and also once you write the code by yourself, it is gonna be really difficult, I think.
All
Okay,
right.
so that's what I think I call a high level, like improving on that algorithm.
All right. All right. Makes sense, Khushbu. So I see in the last moment, Yashwin has a question. Yashwin, I'll unmute you. Please ask a question.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah, ma'am. Like, can you please tell us about your competitive journey, competitive programming journey, so we learn from it? How it
I
was? What was your stream in the college? Where did you learn this data structures and algorithms?
okay. I think I gave the very basic idea in my journey presentation. Okay.
Mhm.
So I did I did my graduation in computer science and engineering. Okay, so yeah, so and in the school I didn't know what like any languages, C, C plus, HTML, anything. I didn't have any experience. But in the first semester, like we had a code club group created by our seniors. So they they came to our class and told us to attend this class at 5 o'clock. So we just went there. Like, all, of course, in the first day you attend so all the things, you explore everything. Okay, so I
Yeah.
attended those classes. So then I got to know about the languages C, C++, Python, and HTML web designing. I learned, though I was able to just get the very, very basic. I was able to, I was not able to understand them properly, but I got the very basic idea. Okay, it was just a beginning.
Yes.
Okay. In the second semester, there was a tech fest in our college called Titiksha. So there was a competition competition for the DS and Algo. So
Yeah.
I was just participating in that, and I made so many wrong submissions. I think more than 100 submissions for a problem. So then I think my classmates told me about CP. Like, this is something that you can do if you're really interested. So they told me about CP, and of course, my classmates had experience in the CP, and like in the first semester, and the seniors helped them. Like, okay, so they told me about. So we formed a team, and they helped me learning the basic, to learn the sorting, because it was very new to me. Learn the sorting and searching, and
Ma'am, one
graph
thing.
was a difficult for me. Yeah,
Ma'am, you told you were in computer science, so you would be taught all these topics, right?
but it wasn't we had data structure and algorithm in second year, but it was of second semester that I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay. Then you
And
started CP before you could come across these subjects.
yes, correct. And
Okay.
of course, and so yeah, in the second semester we just had the C language class. We didn't have anything at all about data structure and algorithms. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So in the second semester, I got to know about all these things.
Okay. Then, like, how was the rating, ma'am? When could you reach some good rating point? Like, I have been trying for a year and I could not make it because something or the other comes, like some exams, or they some way come and spoil my things. So
Okay, so yeah. So it was easy to maintain the good CGP in my college. I just say that, and the attendance uh, was not blockage for me, because some teachers are not giving attendance back. Okay, so it was easy to do the CP in my college in my time. But some teachers, of course, are strict, so you have to attend all the classes. Okay, and also like some teachers are giving you marks very easily. Okay, I'll not go in depth about this. Okay, so it was
yeah.
easy to maintain the CGP and do all these college things in for my at okay when
So
I was in college.
did you even bunk classes for doing CP? Like, I want to know the efforts you put in to excel in the CP world.
Okay, of course I bunked many classes,
Okay, for
but
CP.
only if I knew that the teacher is will not be giving attendance back. That's
Okay, so CP, like, did you spend every day on CP, like for 2 to 3 years or something like that?
So mostly what happened is from the ACM ICP times, because ACM ICP contest normally starts around August or September. So around August to December, I did CP very, very, very with all focus. After the contest, I got distracted. I stopped doing it. I took 2 to 3 months gap, which was really bad, and I started exploring other areas also sometimes. Yeah, but normally in the from the July or August to December, I did CP all in the second year, in the third year, and in the fourth year.
Okay, okay. Like, any tips regarding CP?
So Yashwin, I think we are also running out of time, and the whole session was on CP. I think lots of tips throughout the session. I think just to value time, we all can connect individually. You can connect to Ace Academy and maybe connect to Khushbu individually on LinkedIn, if that's fine, Khushbu.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, sorry if I'm interrupting the things. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no problem. It's really good. At least you should try to ask the question. If you don't get answer, that's another thing. That's appreciated, Yashwant. Don't worry. And a quick shout out to guys other than the ones who asked the questions. Guys, Vikas Patel, Shriya, Ronak Biswas, Krishna. I completely understand. I had been there attending webinars. Some kind of burning question always is there, but now the time is getting over. I just give you a bonus 5 minutes for one or two last questions. If you have anything, just don't hesitate and just be feel free. Whatsoever silly question it is, questions should be asked. So I'll just give the session a close after last 5 minutes. If anyone of you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand. Uh, all right, and maybe while we are waiting, Yashwant, I'm sorry, Kushbu,
Yeah.
yeah. So one question from my side, Kushbu, I also have. So very curious to know more on what kind of work are you really into at Google now? Since 1 year you have been in Google, maybe in some abstract and considering the privacy of Google job. I mean, if you can share some insights on what kind of challenges are you facing and what kind of work there is, and what's the impact of it. So really would be uh, helpful.
Okay, so normally my work is mostly on the device side. So normally I'm in engineering productivity. So my work is like every test is getting passed. So so normally I write the test for the automation testing because that's how we check the devices is working fine or not. Okay, automate testing, and in the automated testing all the backend infra that we need. So writing apis for the backend from for the backend side for the testings, that's what I do. And if it requires to add a new tool, sometimes to design a new tool to get it more easy or to add new functionality, so yeah, so designing new tools also comes under it. And also like suppose right now, okay, the problem is like sometimes when you test two devices like different devices, so you are familiar with one device code and backend. Of course in 3 to 4 months you are very much familiar. You're not, you don't know fully, but you are well aware of the code, like where is the code and how to solve the problem or what are the context person. But when a new device comes, okay, suppose just a phone, android phone comes, okay, and you have to do something on it, you have to do some testing on it. So this is comes another teams under, right? So you have to contact them, and the infra is different. So these are the some challenges, okay, and that you have to. And also the time zone difference, like they sit in us team and some are in another team. So time zone difference and managing that, and managing learning other things to use in your testing. So these are the challenges.
That's amazing, Kushbu. Yeah, it definitely gives me a lot of insight. So, talking on the technology front, what are the basic? I mean, if people ask the profile or technologies as in language or something, so what are the major technologies that you are into?
Normally, I write code in the Python and the C++ sometimes. And technologies, okay, these are all the internal services. So I'm not sure I can name them or not.
Yeah, no, it's all right. We definitely understand that was anyway. So yeah, I see a new hand definitely, and that's Kushdeep. Kushdeep, I have unmute you.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So, hi Kushbu, hi
Hi.
Ashish. So Kushbu, like I have one query that how is the workload and a day in Google looks like? Is it really hectic or is it a work-life balance kind of culture in Google?
Okay, so basically it all depends on your team, okay? And of course, all like starting 3 months are very simple because they will give you enough time to ramp up and wrap up the code. So starting 3 months are really simple. Okay, so once you have the idea about the internal infra, so normally, like you will be given one task that you have to complete before, like if it's a 2 week task, you have to complete that. So it's not like one day you have to give 8 hours, another day you have to give 2 hours. It's all up to you, like how you want to balance this, okay? And in the next meeting, what you will tell your manager or the tech lead, like, yeah, I have this improvement on this thing, I have done this. So it all depends on your site. Like if it's a 2 weeks project and if you have done it in 1 week, so it's cool.
Okay. Understood.
Okay, guys. So I see hands of Sumit and Shivam again. But guys, I think it's time, and you were given fair share of chances to ask your questions. I'm sorry, you can individually connect to Ace Academy. Really, they are great guys. They're always willing to help. And of course, Kushbu and even me, if you want, we can all connect on LinkedIn. And yeah, just feel free. And I think, yeah, that was a wonderful session. Thanks a lot, Khushbu, for sparing your time. It was really worth knowing and hearing from you. Thanks a lot, Ace Academy, for all your support and organizing this wonderful session and just starting from the forms and all the efforts. And really looking forward to more such sessions time and again. And guys, just keep in touch, follow Ace Academy, and just be in touch, interact on LinkedIn. I'm sure we all will get back with lots and lots of new content for you. And sure, and of course, we have Kushdeep here from Ace Academy. So, any closing remarks, Kushdeep, if you have, would be
Yeah.
vote of
Right.
thanks, please.
Right. So really, we are really thankful for all of you to host you here. Like, it was really a nice session, and I hope all of your doubts were addressed by Khushbu. I hope you got all of you got some insights about Google, about how to get there, about how to prepare for that, and the work culture about Google. So for further queries, you guys can ping us directly. And if you want to know more about Ace Academy, what we are doing here, the mentors that we have here, you can definitely reach out to us anytime you want. We are available on LinkedIn. We have our contact numbers on website. You can view that. You can reach out to us anytime you want. And I'm very much thankful for all of you for giving your precious time for this webinar. And I hope we are able to address all your doubts and queries regarding this. Yeah.
All right. All right. Sounds like a closing time now. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay then. Bye guys.
Bye.